Mexico has agreed to take what it's called unprecedented measures to stem the flow of migrants heading to the United States. Washington, in turn, has promised to scrap the tariffs it was set to impose on Mexican goods. Now, the deal was first announced by President Donald Trump on Friday night.
Mexico will try very hard, and if they do that, this will be a very successful agreement for both the United States and Mexico. Tariffs scheduled to be implemented by the US on Monday against Mexico are hereby indefinitely suspended. Mexico, in turn, has agreed to take strong measures to stem the tide of migration through Mexico and to our southern border.
The US had been threatening to impose a 5% import tax on all Mexican goods, which would have started on Monday. Trump had warned that the rates would then increase month by month until it reached 25%. Now, the prospect of tariffs led the Mexican authorities to adopt tougher border controls. On Thursday alone, thousands of migrants from Central America were stopped just a few miles into Mexican territory. Despite the sudden shift, though, Mexico's president had previously struck a very different tone, including on the campaign trail.
Our northern neighbors, the United States government, would want us to do their dirty work by blocking migrants from Central America who are looking for a better life. We want to have a relationship, I reiterated, a friendship with the people and with the government of the United States. This is our position. The US authorities, President Trump, have all behaved very well because they have not closed dialogue.
In addition to agreeing to stem the flow of migrants heading northwards, Mexico has also agreed to buy more American agricultural products. Well, the deal will be seen by many as Donald Trump fulfilling his campaign promises.
We're going to build the wall. Mexico's going to pay for the wall. We're going to stop drugs from coming in.
Well, let's discuss this issue further with Guadalupe Correa Cabrera, an expert on government and policy. Good to have you on the program. So here we have it. After so long, a frozen conflict essentially being played out, Mexico has seemingly bowed to US pressure for now. What do you think is next here? Will Washington look to turn the screw further, as it were?
Yes, this is electoral times. I mean, from here to the election in 1 year and a half, less than 1 year and a half, we're going to have this type of spectacles, I would say. It was not credible that the President of the United States would impose tariffs on Mexico. It was very unfortunate that Mexico, in the end, was pressured to negotiate and was, did a deal with the United States that was very unfavorable with a threat that was not credible. It's very unfortunate, and I'm sure that the President of the United States in electoral times is going to continue doing this because he knows that when he pushes those buttons, that has a very big impact on his base of support. Build the wall, control immigration, Mexico paying the wall. He's going to play those games from here till the election. Unfortunately,
that's the thing. The Trump administration is playing this out as a big victory for him and his supporters who wanted this to happen. Will Mr. Trump continue to use that tactic of threats and tariffs in the case when he doesn't like something? You think this is going to be a common thing?
Of course, because Mexico didn't even negotiate. They were, these tariffs, who would be affected by these tariffs? Of course, Mexico, but of course, the United States consumers. He would never do that. That would hurt his base of support. That would hurt the United States citizens. I don't understand why the President of Mexico said Marcelo Ebrard and how Marcelo Ebrard, was playing the game. We shouldn't have played the game. Okay, you want to impose tariffs. Okay, impose tariffs. We're going to both going to suffer. Mexico already fall into the same trap, and they are going to continue falling. He's going to be using that continuously to do whatever he wants to do. When he's going to go down in the polls, he's going to play the game again.
Is there a line that Mexico will reach to say no to Washington if Mr. Trump continues with such threats, do you think?
There should be. I mean, they should have put that line this time. And even before, when they negotiated the so-called new, free trade agreement, the same thing, but it was in the previous administration, but was, it was affirmed by the current administration of Mexico. Mexico has to put the line right away if they don't want to be the political peons of a president that's seeking re-election.
But the other side of the coin, I suppose, his supporters, for a lot of people in America that voted for him, immigration was the big rallying cry. It was the big issue. If he does stop a lot of immigrants coming from South and Central America, could you foresee this happening more and more in terms of a deal being made here?
It's very difficult that he stops flows from arriving to the United States for two reasons. One, because the push factors are present, the conditions in Central America have not changed, and because of the forces that create or manufacture a crisis. It's interesting to see how the caravans have been moving migrants, and we don't know where the caravans come from. But anyway, it's not going to happen during the time that he needs to be reelected. This is going to continue. But he can promise to build the wall. He can promise that Mexico will pay for the wall, and he can push those buttons that psychologically function very well.
Just finally, does this make the wall more likely to happen?
The wall. I am not sure if the wall is going to be constructed, but the promise of the wall is a great electoral tool. It's a great political tool to mobilize supporters. I am not sure that the wall, as he promised, he's going to be built. He's going to reinforce some parts of the wall, but that's not economically feasible. Okay. Of course, also, there are contractors that are going to benefit from the wall. I am not sure that the whole wall is going to be constructed, but it's a very, very important and powerful political instrument during this time in particular.
Thanks for your time this Saturday. We've been speaking to the Associate Professor at the Schar School of Policy and Government at George Mason University in Virginia, Guadalupe Correa Cabrera. Thank you very much.